Oh,
Going on?
what's going on, Dad? It's been, how long has it been, man? It's been like 3 weeks. It feels like a long time. So much has happened.
Couple weeks at least, maybe three.
Did we talk after his second Trump's second assassination attempt?
Yeah, yeah,
We did we covered that one? Oh, okay. So then,
yeah. There wasn't really much to cover because we don't know that much about it. But yeah, we
yeah,
did talk about it. How ridiculous it is that this guy could just get in those bushes right there where the press usually stands, and they're like,
yeah,
and all of a sudden there's no press there that day.
yeah,
Huh? I mean, flat out, the government is trying to kill the president.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
they tried everything else; it didn't work, and so now they're trying to kill him. You got to be impressed by the guy, man. I mean,
Oh my God, can't believe
who does this? Like they can't knock him down. Like anybody else would have given up, would have folded, would have quit, ran away, started crying, poor me. And they would be right to, because it's a government plot to uh, interfere in elections, flat out. I mean,
yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah, we've said it before. Like, I mean, I've said it before, man. That it's like almost divine intervention. Everything that's happening with this guy, he's coming. He's the exact right person to handle that type of pressure for at this
Yeah,
exact right moment in
yeah,
in U.S. history, world history. What they're trying to attempt with the World
yeah,
Economic Forum and the stuff with China and with the all the illegals that they're letting cross over to try to take over the electoral system. We have the exact person that could deal with all that with the right reputation, the right way that he talks and deals with stuff, the right friends. I was thinking about it the other day. You could have even had like a billionaire that was as cool as Trump, that guy, you know what I mean, that was like a playboy and did all this stuff. But Trump is also, on top of everything, he's good at finance. He's good at, he gets tariffs and stuff like that. That whole, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody has all those characteristics that this guy has for what we need, Like, it's, yeah, it's like I said, it's almost like divine intervention that this guy is where he is in the position he is right now to help the rest of us, and it's all working out.
and it probably is, honestly. It probably is,
Yeah, as corny as it sounds,
and
but
we're
yeah,
going to find out.
how do you explain this exactly?
Right. I mean, I have no problem explaining it with God. Before, I found God, I would have been like, yeah, I don't think so. But now that I've read the Bible extensively, and God does these sorts of things throughout our history. So yeah, I mean, it's not like He quit working because the hard part for people to take a grasp on this and accept that as being divine intervention is that people generally think, even when you believe in God, it's like, yeah, God did sorts of things like this in the past, but you feel like He wouldn't, some reason, oh, He's not doing it now. But no, God never stops His work. His
Yeah.
work continues on, and will be fulfilled. So He very well may be doing that.
Even Trump made a comment, kind of.
I don't have any problem with that. It does seem that way. I mean, he should be dead.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a fan of alternate history, man. I mean, there's I was thinking about it the other day, man. There's like three different points now in the past 8 years where somebody could make like a whole book on alternate history of what could have happened. The first one being what the world would have been like if Trump hadn't run in 2016. What would have been like if Hillary had won or Jeb Bush? It would have been one of them two for sure. The second one is what would have happened if Trump had crap damn, I can't remember the if he had, well, whatever. One of the second one was if he had died, on the first assassination attempt. I can't remember the third one, but yeah, like what direction we would have gone in if any of those things had happened.
Well, I mean, if Trump didn't win in 2016, that's an easy one. Like we wouldn't be, we would still probably be in. I mean, we could tell that the news was propagandized. I could definitely see that, and then you could see all the stuff that's going on that doesn't make any indoctrinate them in colleges, etc., and grade schools, everything. And then you had the news propagandizing. So that would have continued on. It just would have taken us longer to really accept and understand that hey, our government is a dictatorship.
Yeah,
That's a veiled dictatorship. What happened? Trump coming out or becoming president exposed the dictatorship in our country quicker than we would have. It would have been exposed before. So that's and so they would have been able to carry on and really lock down their plans a lot better and easier if he hadn't been elected
yeah,
than when he was elected, because he put a lot of hurdles in there. He stopped a lot of this stuff, or he was an impediment to their plan, and he brought them out into the light because
yeah,
they
exactly.
had to attack him. They had to attack him to get rid of him, and so by doing that, they had to come out of the shadows to a degree, and it made it a lot clearer of what was going on.
Yeah,
So
they
I
exposed
think I
how.
think they
Yeah,
would have been able to work. They would have been able to work in the shadows more and kept it more veiled. It would have been. I mean, I think a lot of people. We would have probably figured it out. I'm sure because I was already thinking this, but I didn't know for sure. But we would have figured it out. I think it would have taken us a little longer than with Trump. But
yeah.
for a lot of people, they would still be like, I don't know, man, because you want to believe.
That everything's
Go
on a
ahead.
level. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, well, real quick, I just remember the third one I was thinking about it's actually in regards to Elon Musk. If Elon Musk hadn't bought Twitter, because I think that made a big difference for Trump this time around. And I think it woke up a lot of people because now you have one of the biggest social media network, the biggest way that people are communicating, and they're sharing information that if he hadn't owned it, if it was still the old people and the 80% of the staff that he fired, if all those people were still in charge, they would have had the entire narrative controlled. All the legacy media, all the mainstream media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything would have been completely run by them. But Musk opened it up, and now they're taking out mainstream media with the information. People are getting most of their news from Twitter, and now they're able to share information about potential 2020 election fraud and January 6th truth and stuff like that. That probably would have been censored as misinformation, and therefore it would have been blocked, and people wouldn't have been able to share the information and woken up as many people that are waking up now. A lot of people that you wouldn't, that probably weren't Trump supporters so much before, now probably have seen information that's changed their mind. Real quick, in regards to kind of like the impact of Trump and
Yeah, absolutely. And the other,
oh yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I think we have a slight delay between us.
Yeah, I think I just noticed that right now too. Let me see.
It's. I don't think it's on your end. I think it's. I think it's on my end. So nothing I can do about it. We just have to understand. Like when I speak, it's going to take a second to get to you, and vice versa.
Okay. Well, real quick, let me then hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play
Okay.
in regards to the divine intervention and just the impact that Trump is having, like not just in our country, but check this out. Check this video out from England. They're trying to start a movement out there called Mega. I don't know if you heard about that.
No. Mega.
Mega, make England great again.
Oh. Okay.
It's pretty cool. Hold on, let me see if wait, how come it's not popping up right here?
I mean, he's a worldwide like leader at this point.
Yeah, but what they say right here. Damn, it's not popping up though. Oh,
I
let me.
seen it in Japan too. In Japan too, they're rallying
Oh
behind
yeah,
Trump.
yeah. I saw that. Hold on. Let me see if we can play it, or if you can hear it at least. Maybe. Hold on a second.
Our message, our message to Donald Trump and the United States and every American who's watching this. Your election in November is far bigger than your country, okay? Donald Trump is needed in this world to bring back peace.
They're having a rally out there. It's not playing the video for some reason.
To save the West. All of our countries are being flooded. They are destroying our cultures. They're bringing us down. It's an attack on the West. And there's only one person who's going to stop it. You have the opportunity in November with these legends.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, I did see that video.
Oh, you saw it?
I didn't know they had a name, Mega. I didn't know that. But I did see it.
Yeah,
It was a giant rally of English people going, Trump, America,
Yeah.
vote for Trump. It's more than just America. It's the world. I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what
And
me
the
and you've been
reason it's
saying.
the world is it's a worldwide effort to make a one world government. That's what's really going on is you have an oligarchy of billionaires trying to create a one world government and control everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Trump stands in the way, not just in America, but worldwide.
Yeah. Well, me and you've been saying it.
Yeah. And you know what? And I was going to say, a lot of people have woken up, right? That have woken up because, like you said, Trump was elected in 2016, brought him out of the shadows, the deep state, and exposed a lot of what's going on. But I think maybe even the strongest thing that really changed a lot of people's minds who didn't like Trump or were not for Trump before is their pay, right? You're paying way more for everything, and
Yeah.
so they're hurting financially, and it's because of an intentional government fleecing of your pay, of your money. They're doing it on purpose to weaken you. And I don't know if they realize that yet, but they do know that, hey, every groceries cost way more, gas costs way more, rent, everything costs way more under these people than it did under Trump. And and over time, that's just a reality that they live. And there's no denying that. I mean, it costs more, no matter why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? If it's incompetence, then it costs more. If they're doing it on purpose, it costs more. But they're doing it on purpose. It's intentional. And like they raised the minimum wage, like in California, didn't they raise it to $20 or $20 at some places?
Yeah.
And that's not to bring those people up. And they know this. It's when they raise their minimum, because we make more than minimum wage at our job.
Yeah.
So when they raise minimum wage up, it doesn't bring those people up because they still make the least amount of money, and everything goes up in order to compensate for those extra costs by the employers, the businesses. So they have to raise their prices. So those people have no more buying power than they had when they made less.
Yeah.
They're still the bottom. But our pay doesn't go up in accordance with that. When they raise the minimum wage, they don't raise our pay. So really what it does is it doesn't bring the floor up. It brings the people that are above the floor down, closer to the floor. And that's intentional, to cause inflation, cause the price of things to go up. They did it with a minimum wage hike. They know it. They did it with shutting off the Keystone Pipeline, regulating the crap out of energy, coal, gas, natural gas, and oil. And once you do that, the price of everything goes up dramatically. So it's an intentional move to weaken the citizens' buying power. And if you're weak on buying power, essentially you're going to become dependent to a degree, if not completely, on the government. And once you're there, well, they have you.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring everybody down except themselves. And so whether people see that or not, they know this. I go to the grocery store or go fill up my car or pay my rent or my mortgage or whatever, and it's ridiculous. And so they're like, well, you know what? I don't want this anymore. Maybe I don't like Trump, but guess what? I don't like living like this even more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure what I think woke a lot of people up. A lot of, the black population, they've been posting a lot of videos just just praising Trump. Like, just you never saw that before, and just video after video of just. So he for sure has the black vote. They're saying I got one right here of Reince Priebus talking about it. Hold on, let me play this real quick. Damn, how come they're not showing though? You don't gotta hear it, I guess.
Yeah, he's got over 50% of the Latino vote, and I believe it's over 25% of the black. It might even be more, but this is the information we're getting. But the black vote he's getting is as much, if not more, than Nixon.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did like some sort of rally the other day with Muslims, the Muslim community.
Mm-hmm.
You see that one? They're saying we're with Trump because he's for peace.
Right.
So every demographic he has, man, like it's just for sure he's on a path. He's on a path towards victory, and Kamala is not in any way, shape, or form. There's no way they could spin it anymore. That she's and sure enough, on Fox News this morning, I was watching, and they're saying, it's still neck and neck. It's just right there, and it just makes no damn sense how the hell they're pulling it. But they're saying that they're going by polls. They're going by the polls, and they're saying the polls for sure are just fake. They're just even if they are polling people, that they're only polling like the coast, like West Coast and the East Coast, and that's it.
Think about it like this. This dawned on me the other day. So we're in the Teamsters Union, and the Teamsters voted nationwide, all across America. Teamsters voted 1.3 million. Normal polls are like 10 to 50,000. We did 1.3 million poll. That was not messed with by anybody because it was a vote just in the Teamsters. So it came out 60-40 Trump. Now we're majority men, so it would be skewed a little bit, maybe 45-55 Trump. But that's an accurate poll, right? And it's a gigantic poll. It's 1.3 million people across the entire country.
Yeah.
And for a labor union to vote in favor of Trump, if we're doing that, imagine what the rest of the country's doing. So it probably is 60-40. The polls are fake, and we know this. It's funny because people are like, "Oh, the polls say this, the polls say that." The polls said Hillary Clinton was going to win. All of them are at least 95%. New York Times was 99%, and I believed it. I was like, "Oh, she won." I didn't even watch the election results until about halfway through. I just clicked it on. I'm going to take a look, and I was like shocked.
Yeah.
Wait, Trump's winning? I'm literally sitting there by myself watching this, laughing out loud because I couldn't believe it. But right there, I knew these polls are crap. They're manipulated, and the news is manipulating them. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for instance, the other day she had a rally. I don't know how many people showed up, but she said they put out Beyonce's coming and she's going to perform. Beyonce showed up and talked for a little bit, not very long. And she didn't perform, and the people were heckling Harris because they lied to them just to get crowds there. They weren't there to see Harris; they're there to see Beyonce. And she didn't perform. They lied to the crowd. They manipulated the crowd to come and show up as if they're Harris supporters. And a lot of them just walked out. They yelled at her, and she told them, "Well, you need to go to the rally down the street." Right? They have no respect for their own people or the people that they want to vote for them. They lie to them. And I heard, I don't know, I haven't confirmed this, but I heard they paid Beyonce $10 million to go.
Yep. I was just about to say that. Yep.
Meanwhile, Trump has this Madison Square Garden rally packed. I think it's 20,000 capacity. And I heard there was like 200,000 people outside.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people were actually outside, but we know that in California, he had 100,000. Butler, he had 100,000. She can barely pull 5,000, and a lot of those are probably just paid actors, paid people to come. But even if they're legitimate, that's 20 to 1. And people go, well, there's other factors involved in that. Like what? Right? If we had an election, if you had an election at your work or your school or something, and one candidate speaks, right, for the union or for class president or whatever, and 50 people show up, and the other candidate speaks and 500 people show up, right?
Yeah.
But then the candidate who had 50 people show up to hear him speak wins. Everyone would know this is bull crap. But when we look at it on a national presidential stage, a lot of people go, well, there's more factors involved. There wouldn't be more factors involved than any other thing you look at, right? I mean, there are more factors involved, But the fact is, there's no one excited to go see her. They're not enthused. They're not inspired. If they were, they would show up and they go, well, Democrats don't go out to rallies and stuff. What are you talking about? Obama drew massive crowds,
Yeah.
right? They're just not inspired by Biden or Harris. They were inspired by Obama. And people are people. If you're really enthusiastic and inspired by a presidential candidate, people are going to go out in mass and support them. They can't get that going, which means the polls are nonsense.
Yeah.
He's honestly, he's gonna win the popular vote. He's gonna win the president. It's just a matter of, can they rig it again when it's this big? It's going to be bigger than before. He might get over 100 million votes this time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. With a lot of the videos of the black voters are posting that she's just unlikable. They just can't stand her. They see right through her. And on top of Trump just being what they're just calling him the truth. That they just like his economy. They like him as a person. He seems more real. And then they watch her, and she's just the opposite of everything. You don't know what she stands for, and just her personality is just super unlikable.
But the thing about her is, like, she's not the boss. Biden's not the boss. Like, they are not running the country. All that's going on here is they're just trying to put a puppet in place, the deep state or the oligarchy of billionaires that run things. And so, a vote for her is a vote for a billionaire oligarchy. They will be in charge. And even if you vote against that, they might rig it. They're going to try. I know they're going to try. So there's going to be some crap going on. But can they do it when it's this massive? I mean, the crowds he's gotten and the people that are going to vote for him are massive. Like, he still has all his original voters from 2016, but he added massive amounts of people who were against him who have gone, you know what? This is bull crap. Everything's expensive. You got men running around in dresses saying they can get pregnant, and these people are supporting this. Just on and on and on. You got the news that is just blatantly propaganda for the government. And people are seeing this now that were against Trump that are going, wait, now hang on. And on top of that, just logically, why would Trump be running for president? What does he get out of it? Yeah. Right? It doesn't take a scientist, a brain surgeon or whatever to figure it out that he doesn't need to do this. He's already been president. So check that box. I mean, so, and they're trying to kill him literally and other things. Yeah. So he's doing this for you, right? Yeah. Why else would he be doing this? He doesn't need to do it.
Yeah, I said that at a rally the other
motivation,
day.
Yeah, his only motivation logically is to save America and save the world, really. And I think people are starting to see that too. Like, a lot of people go, I don't like the way he talks. Well, that isn't your own thought. You've been spoon-fed that by propaganda forever. But even if you don't like the way he talks, he's telling you the truth.
Well, real quick then, let me just play something kind of along the lines. Reince Priebus, he kind of sums it up a little bit, and I thought it was a pretty good clip. Okay. He's, I don't know what station. I think it's CNN or might be MSNBC. I'm not sure. Hold on. Here we go.
I mean, the reality is that for the first time in 32 years in this poll, it shows that Republicans are beating Democrats straight up. When you ask people a generic ballot in 32 years, it shows that Donald Trump's doing better with black voters.
Oh, crap.
I mean, the reality is that for the first time in 32 years in this poll, it shows that Republicans are beating Democrats straight up. When you ask people a generic ballot in 32 years, it shows that Donald Trump's doing better with black voters, Hispanic voters, off the charts. But what the most important thing is, what happened last week is that what was working with female voters with Kamala Harris was that there was some feeling of joy in the air. Well, that joy is gone. She had a terrible week. She picked a pointless fight with Ron DeSantis. She was losing in the Sun Belt, and she tried to recover by going on The View, which a lot of women watch. She went on The View. You talked about it earlier, and she wanted to clarify the two most important issues that are facing these two candidates: the economy and immigration. And she bombed like Rory at the U.S. Open, and she went out there and said there was nothing she would do that would be different than Joe Biden. And she created a campaign commercial for Donald Trump. And so she's trying to recover. There is no joy here, and everybody knows it.
Well, it's just funny how quick the news is moving, man. So yeah, that was from like I guess a couple of weeks ago when we tried to do the show. That was around the time the hurricane that hit Florida. But yeah, he's basically he's calling it kind of how it is, that Trump has all the demographics, all of them right now, every single one, the Jewish vote, the black vote, the Latino vote, the Muslim vote. Women, I mean, yeah, I think he has the women vote. I mean, I think it's mostly women supporting Kamala, so it seems like it's slanted. But no, I think they all support his stance on protecting children in school and stuff like that. I don't think they're all are with them over abortion, which is what they're trying to make their number one issue, like abortion, reproductive rights. It doesn't add up.
So I don't think he has the majority of the black vote. He might, but I don't think so. But he has a massive amount compared to any other Republican, even probably better than Nixon. It's at least 25%. I don't know that it's over 50, but it's way more than Republicans ever get by far. So and the women vote, he might have that. It'll probably be close. It'll probably be close 50-50, maybe in his favor, slightly under. The Latino vote, he has more than half, which is massively more than Republicans ever get.
Yeah.
So my point is he's doing better in all the demographics. Maybe not the gay vote. He might not be doing very well in that, or even doing better. I don't know. But overall, he's like I said, he's getting all the people who voted for him in the first two elections. He still has all of them. But he's added a lot of the black, Latino, and female vote. He's added more of them to it. So he's getting more votes this time than he's ever got before.
He has to be getting the Catholic vote and the Christian vote, I think, too. I mean, the religious vote.
Well, yeah, but he probably had that original. Well, actually, I don't know, because it's weird to me. Like,
they're saying a lot of them don't vote. That a lot of them aren't even registered to vote. That's kind of weird.
But I could tell you this. So I listened to Pastor Jack Hibbs of Calvary Chapel in Chino Hills, and he's a worldwide famous pastor. And him and his church have been traveling the state of California and going to other churches and talking to the congregations and telling them, you guys need to go vote. Now, he's not the perfect candidate for us, but he's way better than her. She's going to kill all the babies she can. Yeah. He's going to save the majority of them, and that is what God wants, and God needs you to go vote for this candidate. Well, God doesn't need it. God can do whatever he wants, but God, that's what you should do, right? It's in God's hands, and you should always put God first, but this is the candidate we should go vote for. We need to go vote. So, and I think around the whole country, pastors have been doing this, where they're really getting the Christians to say, you know what? We know a lot of you don't vote. You just say, I leave it to God. But we need to go out there and vote. God doesn't want you just to sit on the sidelines in life. Yeah. And so they've really, so the Christian vote is going to be massive this time compared to the past, Christian, Catholic. And probably the Jewish vote as well, because Trump, I mean, if you're a Jew and you're not voting for Trump, what are you thinking? This guy defended you more than any president the United States ever had. Yeah. This guy's got you back 100%. And he's for religious freedom. And so the Muslims are on board with that as well, because there's a lot of Muslims who aren't down with this jihad terrorism. Yeah. Right. So he's going to get them as well. And really, he's really the person who's about unity, while the other side is about division. Yet everything they say is the opposite of what they are. They'll say Trump's divisive and he's the bad guy, but they're really the divisive ones who want to put you into groups. You're gay, you're not gay, you're Jewish, you're Christian, and they want you to to think that way so that you'll have animosity towards the other groups.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, you're divided, and no one can really stand up to them, and they can conquer. It's divide and conquer, and that's what the Democrats are. The oligarchy, really, it's the oligarchy of billionaires, but we call it the Democrat Party. And a lot of Republicans are involved in this oligarchy as well. Don't get it wrong. Trump's not actually really a Republican. He's just an American. But it's like he said on Joe Rogan the other day, it's a two-party system. If you don't sign up on one of these parties to run, you're not going to win. And he's right. So he chose the party that had way more closer ideology to his than didn't. But ultimately, he's not a Republican because a lot of the Republican leadership is corrupt as well. Not all of them, but a lot. Yeah. So it's a facade. It's a veiled dictatorship, and the Republican leadership, a lot of them are involved in this as well, and they want to act like, hey, well, we're Republicans, we're against the Democrats. The Democrats, well, we're Democrats, we're against the Republicans. No, they're on the same team. They are the 1%. They are the elites, and that's how they identify in reality. It's not what they say; it's their actual lives. This is what they live, and so they want to maintain control and grow their power and wealth at your expense. And they are working together. And Trump is, and that's why you get a lot of Republicans going against Trump too, because they're showing their hand. Liz Cheney, her dad was the vice president. He's Republican, but now all of a sudden she's against him, right? Why? Because she loves her money and power. She's an evil woman who doesn't care about America. She only cares about herself.
No.
You mean it's just weird. And then on the other hand, you got Democrats that are actually the good ones who are saying, you know what, I want to do what's best for the country, and they're going to Trump. You got RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, and they're like, you know what, this is not right. Like RFK said last night at the Madison Square Garden. A lot of people ask me why I left the Democrat Party, and I said I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me. The Democrat Party be the party of fighting against censorship. They fought for civil rights. They fought for the working class. They've abandoned all that. Here. They're the party of the elite, rich, military-industrial complex.
Here, real quick, on that note, I got a video of him saying exactly that. I think it's pretty good. Watch. Check this out.
Now you have this weird situation where Dick Cheney, who was the greatest villain to the Democratic Party, he was the guy who gave us the Patriot Act. He gave us the torture regimes. He gave us the censorship and surveillance state that came out of the Patriot Act, and he gave us the Iraq War, which was a war that was built on deception and pretense. Everybody knows that now. We said we'd never do that again, and it was the worst foreign policy cataclysm in American history. And now Dick Cheney and John Bolton, the people who gave us that, have endorsed Kamala Harris. And 225 other neocons have the people who were driven out of Washington because they were so discredited after Iraq, have now endorsed Vice President Harris. And they're not endorsing her because they've changed. They still think all those were good ideas. They're endorsing her because the Democratic Party has fundamentally changed.
Right. The Democrat Party is the party of the rich. Flat out. And Democrats go, no. I have guys at work that are going, no. Well, then why are the majority of the Fortune 500 political donations, going to the Democrat Party? And a lot of them do go to Republicans, but the majority goes to the Democrats. So the richest people in the country are giving their money to the Democrats, and they're like, well, I'm going to stand with the Democrats because they're for unions. But all the money they're getting is from people who don't like unions. It's nonsensical.
Yeah.
And the Republican money that they're giving are to the corrupt Republicans who are on their team. So you got the elites versus the rest of the population, and they're trying to create a one world government where they're in charge of the entire world. And they do this facade where, hey, you have a choice between Democrat and Republican. No, you don't. That's bullcrap.
Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know if I played this one right here. It's about a pastor. Let me see. I don't know if you could see it. I don't know if it looks familiar.
The Democratic Party, I'm going to say it tonight so that you won't be confused, is the Antichrist Party. The Democratic Party, I'm going to
Have you seen this one? Did I play this before?
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think you played it, but I watched it.
Oh, you seen this one? Yeah, I thought this guy did pretty good. He sums it
So
up
that
really
you
well.
won't be confused, is the anti say it tonight, and I'm gonna say this, you're not gonna believe it, but it is anti-black folk. You are only needed for votes. You are only loved when it's time to get your votes. There's no real care about you. And see, we still stuck, and we got that thing ingrained in us that this is the party for the black man. It is not. The party has changed. Black people, really, to be honest with you, have never been the priority. They have only been used. Go back and look at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We've all given Democrats credit for that, but Johnson was the one that wanted to pass it, but he couldn't get enough Democrat votes to pass it. It was the Republicans that pushed and passed the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Go tonight and look it up. Look at Wiki, W-I-K-I, put it in there, 1960. He couldn't even get enough Democrats to vote for it. So he had to go to Republican senators in order to help him out. They are anti-life. The party pushes stuff that's anti-life. It pushes anti-morality because most of their policies are immoral, that pushes sexual perversion. It is the party of death. Why do you say that, Pastor? If you go back, you'll see slavery started with the Democratic Party. And we saw many slaves that died. We also saw under Jim Crow. Jim Crow was established by Democrats. And we saw under Jim Crow how many were hung and lynched. And then we are seeing today how many babies, African American people are giving up their future because they won't have, in another 15, 20 years, they won't have enough people because they have cut their birth rates off and have aborted their children. This is exactly what the party wants. So it is a party of death when it comes down to it. It is a party that is...
Oh, you get the idea. Yeah, he just goes down the list.
Yeah, and he's exactly right. I mean, I watched that video on my own.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good one.
There's a lot of pastors like that. Not just pastors, there's just black people. I mean, you had the Pittsburgh Steelers, LeVon Bell, and a couple Pittsburgh Steelers when Trump was in Pittsburgh endorsing him, giving speeches about him. I mean, you know what I mean? The tide has changed, and it's changed because it's reality. They're not doing it because they're being fooled. No, they're actually awake now, gone from woke to awake.
Yeah.
Right, and people have woken up. They could see the truth, and what this guy said is the truth. The Democrat Party, like LBJ, he wanted to pass the 1964 act, and it needed Republicans. But you know what he said about that? Because they couldn't get, they knew that they couldn't suppress the black vote forever, and they were against black people up until that point. And so he said, we'll pass the Civil Rights Act, and I'll have these N-words voting Democrat for 75 years.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He called words and said, I'll get them voting Democrat 75 years. So it's all a game. And he's right. All they care about your vote. Black lives only matter once every 4 years. They only care about you once every 4 years. And it's all talk. They never deliver. Yeah. But they're not delivering for anybody, no matter what color you are. The only people they deliver for is their own, which are the rich elites. That's all that this government is about. Yeah. They're all about themselves. They don't care about regular Americans. Matter of fact, they despise you. And it doesn't matter the color of your skin, your sexual orientation, your religion. None of that crap matters. That's all they want to talk about because they use it as a divisive wedge to get people upset with each other so they can conquer and control. But they don't care about anybody. If you're not in their club, you don't matter. You are just a pawn in their game to be used, their power and wealth.
Yeah.
If people are waking up to this, and the reality is I was talking to a guy at work the other day, a black guy, and like the NFL puts on the field and racism. Last thing the NFL wants, NFL doesn't really care. They're being paid and politically manipulated or pushed are bullied into doing that. And the funny thing about it is when they put end racism on the field, what they're really saying is don't ever quit thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Because what they want is for you to, even though in your daily life you don't experience racism, no one's going around doing anything to you, saying anything to you. Most people, whatever color they are, haven't had this experience in their life at all, and very rarely if they have. But don't forget, there's a bunch of guys out there. They're out there somewhere in the woods with white hoods on, burning crosses, and sooner or later they're coming out of those woods. They're going to get you, right? But and I think a very good example of how nonsensical that is like there's a show called Matt TV on YouTube, or it's like a social experiment. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but what he does is he'll like have like kids, and sometimes just grown women, and they'll be out like at a park or somewhere, and he'll have the little kid sit next to somebody who's already there, and that doesn't know what's going on, and then they'll have an actor come up and act like they're trying to kidnap the kid, right? Hey, how you doing? Oh, you like ice cream? Shit like that, creepy shit.
Yeah.
And the person on the bench always fucking defends that kid. And they're all different colors. It doesn't matter if the kid's black and the guy's white or Asian or Mexican or whatever. They have a variety of everybody.
Yeah.
Right? It could be a black guy sitting on the bench with a white kid and another black guy trying to snatch her up, and the black guy defends the white kid, or the white guy defends the black kid against the white guy. And this is the reality, right? People in real life aren't looking at that stuff. They don't. It's not what comes to their mind. Oh wait, they're going to kidnap a white kid? Well, I don't care. Or they're going to kidnap a black kid? Well, I don't care. Because I'm racist. No, people just do the right thing and defend the kid or the woman who the guy's coming up, creeping on her and acting all creepy and getting intrusive with her. And the guys defend him. They get, you need to get the hell out of here, bro. So I kick your ass or call the cops, right? Yeah. So that is the truth, that human beings look at human beings as human beings, but the government doesn't want you to ever look at it that way. That's why sporting events have these ridiculous things on there, and it's the exact opposite of what they're putting on the field. Is their thought is the exact opposite. End racism, no, they don't want to end it. They want to perpetuate it to keep you divided and think that this exists in your life when it really doesn't. Yeah. And the funny thing about the NFL too, on the side note, is you got all these black millionaires on the field saying, "Hey, it's not fair," right? Because they get them caught up in it too. Before they were taking a knee on the flag and whatever. It's not fair what's going on in America. I only have $200 million, right? It's dumb, but they play on people's emotions and get them all divided this way. But the reality is, in your daily life, people treat each other with courtesy. They defend each other that are in need. They'll help somebody who's injured. They don't go, "Oh, there's a car accident. Oh, it's a black family and we're white, so nope." No, they just go in there and do it because it's the right thing to do, and that's how most people are at heart. So this, like I'm saying, this is all intentional.
Did you see that video just a couple of days ago of some white girl? I think it was in Oregon. I think it's a Trump supporter, but he has like his daughter like in a stroller right next to him, and she yells right in her face, and then the black woman who's on her side stops her and is like, "What are you doing? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?" Like,
right, and that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
And the truth, and so I watched more of that, and so some internet sleuths figured out who that woman was.
Oh, did they finally find her?
Yeah, paid Democrat offered. I want to say her name's Jordan, but she's a paid Democrat operative. She's been paid. One time she got $16,000, a couple thousand years. They've been paying her thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to go out and do these things. Really? It's not even real. She's paid to do this stuff, but she gets caught up in it and loses her mind and goes yelling at a little kid because they're unhinged, right? So in a way, I feel bad for that lady because she's been manipulated into this, but at the same time, she's a grown woman and you're yelling in a little kid's face. A little girl's like, "What the fuck?"
That was messed up, man. I can't believe she did that. Yeah. What's it called? I got here a clip real quick. It's kind of kind of sums up Obama. I don't know if can you see the video?
Yeah.
Check this out. I thought it just looks, to me, I don't know why it looks accurate. It's pretty creepy though.
I don't understand how we got so toxic and just so divided and so bitter. And I get why sometimes people just don't want to pay attention to it. And we all have friends like that. We have family members who just like, it's all a circus out there. I get that. I don't understand how we got so
Him
toxic.
of all people.
So you know what they're doing there.
It's the same projection thing. Yeah, he's just.
Somebody edited him to look satanic or.
Oh yeah, it's just a filter.
Right.
But it looks right.
But their point is he's being motivated by the devil. And so they're putting it on his face. If you really see, this is his true face. This is his true motivation, right? And you can see this in like George Soros. George Soros, like the demon is like obvious in him. Like I think that guy's possessed because the demon is popping out of his face. Like the guy does. When you look at him, you're like, oh, dude, you got the devil in you, straight up. I can see it in your face.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're doing here. And I think they're right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it looks accurate, but it's just kind of what he's saying is he's just such a liar. He's just been he's been the number one divider. You know what I mean? Racial divider. It all kind of started with him. I think we talked about it on one of the shows in the past that I don't remember even during the Bush administration there would being any racial tension. It seemed like everything was kind of in a way harmonious, and that wasn't like a big issue. At least not political issue. It wasn't like nothing forefront. There weren't protests over stuff like that until Obama came in, and I wasn't paying attention too much during his administration, but yeah, that's when all the all of a sudden the videos of cops killing blacks started popping out, and then Colin Kaepernick started the whole movement, and with the NFL just.
Not fair.
Little by,
only $2.
Little by little, Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter. At first it kind of just made sense because you started believing the police shooting videos, but just to find out later that it was all manipulated. They were paid, millions and millions of dollars to do that and protest and burn down cities and just, it was all set up, and it was all started by Obama's rhetoric, in 2012. So, and then here he is right here in this speech saying that, I don't know how we got so divided. So that's what was like extra deceptive about.
So bitter, and I get why sometimes people just don't want to pay attention to it. And we all have friends like that. We have family members who just like,
Yeah, check this one out too. This is how fake this lady is. I got this one of Kamala. How she's been doing those. We can't let him stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. You seen her say that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you see the mashup of all the times you've said it? Check this out.
Should never again stand behind the seal.
So such an emotional reaction you would think would at least be genuine, like that just really came out from her heart. She really feels that. But meanwhile, it's a script. It's all script. Probably says in her on the monitor, start raising your voice, start getting angry,
right,
over and over and over. So,
but the thing about that is like for anybody who's buying that rhetoric, it's kind of like, okay. She says he can't get behind the president. He can't be the president again. We can't let him be the president again. Insinuating that he's somehow some dangerous person that if he was president, it's going to be hell, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was already president, stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened, right? So anybody who's buying that, you are willfully ignorant or a disgusting person because he was already president. And before he ran for president the first time, or before he became president the first time, he's going to start World War III. He's going to start wars all over the place. He's going to institute racist racial injustice policies, just all these nasty things they accused him of. Then he's president for 4 years, 0 wars. He's the only president in the last 84 years who didn't start a war. Uh, Unemployment for everybody, blacks, all-time low. Hispanics, all-time low. Everybody had more jobs than they've ever had before, no matter what color they were. Inflation, 1.5%. Your dollar was going way further than it was. Gas prices were like $2, around there. Grocery prices were normal. Rent, everything was better.
Yeah.
So we can't allow that to happen again. She's absolutely right. Her puppet masters, the oligarchy billionaires, are saying we can't let that happen again because it's slowing down or stopping our plans to crush all Americans of every color, every creed, every religion, and making them subservient to us. So they're absolutely telling you the truth that they can't let that happen again because it might blow up their plan to enslave the world. And that's really the truth. That's what she's telling the truth. It's just she's trying to paint it out as if he's the bad guy when she really works for the bad guys, and she knows it. It's just so evil. Like, she knows exactly what's going on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And these oligarchs who want to control the world and shove everybody down to poverty so they can control everybody without any question. And she's 100% on board with that. And a lot of people are going to go vote for that. And a lot of them, I mean, you have to be really stupid, really, really, really stupid to not see any of this.
Yeah.
You really do, right?
They are.
Why would you go
for
vote
sure.
for that otherwise? How could you not see this stuff?
Yeah, I think the majority of their motivation is for sure Trump derangement. But yeah, if they're still willing to go along, even knowing that they hate him more than anything. If you know that your alternative is her and listening to the things she's saying, if you're paying attention at all, for sure. Like you got to be a stupid person to just let yourself still go along with anything she's planning, or at least not see it.
I mean, the fact that they're still saying that he's going to bring us into wars and do all these evil things when he already was president, and they're the ones that brought us into wars and brought division to the country and brought high prices to the country. And she's like, we can't allow that again. We can't allow.
Did you see Megyn Kelly on Bill Maher the other day?
Huh?
Did you see Megyn Kelly on Bill Maher the other day? She brought up that exact point. He was he's just saying like, oh, he's gonna be a fascist when he comes in, and she brought up the same exact point. Like, oh, he was president already for 4 years. Like, and he wasn't a dictator. He didn't do anything authoritarian. He actually did everything mostly everything democratic. He actually held up democratic values. You should watch that. It's pretty good. She tears that guy a new one. Finally, somebody was able to stand up to him.
You make a point there that Bill Maher. So the Bill Maher thing, I've seen his progression over the years now, where he's starting to come to his senses, and he's on a lot of issues. He sees it, but he's so locked in on hating Trump that it's really difficult for him to admit it's wrong. And I was talking about this, I think, in the previous podcast, and I couldn't remember the psychological term for this, but it's called the egocentric brain. And it's within us all. We all have an egocentric brain, which is an evolutionary part of our brain that tells us that if we form a belief, opinion, position, that our brain tells us you're right. So even if you start to get information that contradicts what your belief or opinion is, your brain is on the subconscious level, no, you're right, right? And the reason is it doesn't want you to feel like you're wrong. Your brain doesn't want you to feel like you're wrong, because if you're wrong about big things that you're really locked in on, or just a lot of things in general, then you'll have a hard time moving through life. You'll be afraid to take the next step because you're afraid that you're going to be wrong. So it would really cripple a lot of people in life. The difficult thing to admit that you're wrong, I think he knows deep down he's wrong about Trump at this point, but that egocentric brain has really got a hold on him, so where he's like really fighting it because he really went deep on that one, and to say, you know what, I'm wrong. I
think you're right, because there's a difference. Him and Jake Tapper on CNN. Did you see Jake Tapper debating with J.D. Vance too? JD Vance shuts him down completely. And the difference between the two, and they're both, arguing the same thing. Oh, it's what Trump said, his rhetoric. He's gonna be a dictator. He's like, he's like Hitler, whatever. When Megyn Kelly was shutting down Bill Maher, he knew he was shut down, and he kept changing the subject. So that's why, like, he really got tore a new one, because she was just shutting him down on everything and kept bringing it up. But then you watch Bill Tapper, and he kept insisting. He was even RFK reposted the video of them of him and JD Vance debating, and he was like, "Is Jake Tapper about to cry?" Like, because he was just like, "No," and he's like shrugging his shoulders, and he just sounds like a little kid. Like he's just resisting and trying to fight back. But Bill Maher knows that, yeah, she has him, like, on all the points that she's making. But I think he just hates Trump no matter what. So I don't think he cares regardless.
Well, I think the difference between like a Bill Maher and a Jake Tapper or a Scarborough or The View is Bill Maher has more freedom. He's more independent in his show. He doesn't have the same sort of puppet masters. Now, he's got a lot of pressure from those puppet masters to not like Trump, but he doesn't. He's rich enough that he's like, I'm good. Where Jake Tapper, like, he needs his job, right? So it doesn't matter. He's told what to say. He's told what to do, and it doesn't matter at all. He knows full well what he's doing, and his opinion and his beliefs aren't even involved in that at all. It is just a script that the puppet masters told him to say, and his job depends on it. Same with Scarborough. Same with The View. Like, it was on Joe Rogan. He's like, have you watched that clip of The View just not very long before Trump ran for president? Joy Behar hugging him, Whoopi Goldberg hugging him. They all loved him.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like within months of him running for president. Then he runs for president, and their show has been 9 years of nothing but Trump's evil, right? But you loved him before he ran for president. You were hugging him, praising him on the show.
Yep.
The same people. So they are so their beliefs and their opinions never come into it, right? They might not even believe what they're saying at all. They probably don't, but they're being paid a lot of money to do it. And if they don't, then we'll just replace you, and we'll get somebody else to do it. So they're putting their money over values.
Yeah.
But Bill Maher has enough money that he doesn't need to do that. So I think he's just struggling with it. He has a personal struggle going on with his egocentric brain. And the other people, it doesn't matter. They're just going to do what they're told because they need that.
I think the difference between probably with Bill Maher and the rest of them is that Bill Maher is he's a comedian, so he kind of looks at the humor of things in a lot of ways. I don't know if you ever watch his show, Club Random. You ever watch any of his episodes?
No.
He just smokes weed and drinks tequila the whole time. So by the end of the show, he's wasted. So
yeah,
he has that relaxed part of him, I guess, that probably maybe doesn't let him get such a stick up his ass, and like Jake Tapper and all those guys. So maybe there's that, but he's sticking to his guns, and he's just trying to be a Trump hater no matter what.
Well, like I said, he locked in on it really hard, and so, like I said, like I locked in really hard on all Republicans, Bushes, Cheneys. I liked them all, man. I was out there promoting them, and I was wrong. So I was locked in hard. You were locked in hard against Trump. It's very difficult to get away from that when you lock in that hard. Your egocentric brain's like, no, bro. If you're wrong about these, when you lock in on something this hard, you go this hard on it, then you're probably wrong about everything. That's what in your subconscious is going on. So it says, no, you're right. Just rationalize it, justify it, somehow ignore the facts, spin the facts, right? So this is self-preservation that's going on with Bill Maher more than because he is taking a lot of positions against the Democrat Party now, but Trump is like, he went so hard on that I think he doesn't really have a way out until he realizes what's going on with him.
Yeah. Or
it just becomes so overwhelming that he's like, fuck it, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about him is, like, I was watching some episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and he was on one of them.
Oh, really?
Like back in the day, like when he was young, that might have been like his first acting gig or something. I don't know. I was like, wait, that's fucking Bill Maher.
Yeah, he's old as hell, bro. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He was in. I remember he was in that movie. Remember House 2? House, that movie House.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. I remember seeing him, and I hated his character. Later on, it became all
He
political.
didn't like Murphy Road either. He was a bad guy.
Oh yeah.
But it was just weird. Okay, so this guy was like a bit actor or a part actor on little shows. Well, Murder She Wrote was big, but he wasn't known really at that time. So that's probably where one of the places he got his start.
Well, he also has a kind of a grudge against Trump because I guess Trump sued him at one point.
Oh, okay.
So Trump sued him and kind of, made him waste some money. And I guess that was kind of one of Trump's tactics back in the day. Like he would just sue people all the time and just make them defend themselves. And but obviously
Right.
he was protecting a brand, so he just that was the ruthless businessman in him. That he's now transferred over to government politics.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Trump's nowhere near the height of the moral mountain, right? He's somewhere on the mountain, but there's a lot of people that are way higher on that mountain than him as far as morals go. But ultimately, what we're talking about is America and the world, and he does believe in America, and he does believe in people's rights to live. And you know what I mean? Like when you look at the business part of it, he's looking at that as, hey, this is just competition. I'm going to use the rules to my advantage the best I can. So he's an alpha lion that does that. But when it comes down to like people in general, I think he has a genuine heart for people. The other side, they don't care about people at all. They don't care, like, at all. So I think that's the big difference. They're trying to paint him out as if he's the bad guy when they're really the bad guy.
Well, that's kind of saying at the beginning of the show that his characteristics, what he's trained himself to be, is like the right personality characteristics to deal with the things he's dealing with. Like the amount of hate that he's getting from the media. The pushback from other governments. How he has to go at China, go at Russia, go at North Korea. You know what I mean? Like he's been training himself to be a ruthless businessman. And now he's just applying that to politics. There's this video right here that I had. I wasn't even gonna play it, but we're talking about it. Now you watch it, man. You kind of get uncomfortable just watching it, but this is what you want. This is what you want from somebody that's looking out for the United States. Hold on, let me see if I can get it real quick. He's talking to all these world leaders. Is it playing? Hold on one second. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is right here. I don't know if you've seen it before.
I probably have, but I'm not sure what it is, but I probably have.
Oh, wait. It's right here.
Yeah, but God very well may be using him in this way, right? God didn't set him up probably to be this ruthless businessman. He just is what he is, right? This is just what he is, and God says, all right, I can use him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's the only one that's going to be able to withstand what I already know is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like I said, I'm way more inclined to believe God is involved in this than not. And if God is involved with the Trump issue, it would stand to reason that he would win, but not necessarily. God may have we never know God's plan. Our understanding is not his. We're like ants compared to God. Not even ants, kind of amoeba, one single cell. Like we have no way of comprehending God's understanding. So,
Yeah.
but I do believe God is using him. And we'll see how it plays out. But
Let's check this out. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Okay, here we go.
It's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries. And then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia.
Look at Mike Pompeo.
So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean, I've been complaining about this from the time I got in. It should have never been allowed to have happened. But Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new.
So that's all the German
from the time I got in.
The German government right there, and he's just like scolding all of them.
And I don't even find that uncomfortable at all. I find that
well, just because you can tell they're all uncomfortable. You can see Mike Pompeo right there doesn't even know what to do. Like, but Trump don't care. He don't give a crap. He's just, I'm gonna tell you guys. You know what I mean? I doubt at all Obama talked to anybody like that. Bush talked to anybody like that. Nobody talked to other world leaders that way or other government.
They weren't interested in helping people. They were interested in power and money. Now, the funny thing about this is, I thought Trump was colluding with Russia and Putin was his buddy, but he's railing against Russia.
Oh yeah.
Right? It doesn't.
He's trying to protect Germany in this instance and against Russia. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's trying to cripple Russia's financial system and help Germany.
Yeah.
But then he gets impeached for colluding with Russia by the guy who's running in California, Schiff, for the Senate.
Yeah.
Right? And people will probably elect him. I voted for Steve Garvey. It's an interesting. That brought me to another point. On that one is like, you got a dilemma in California right now because you got all these Democrats who love the Dodgers. So who are you going to vote for? They don't really want a Republican because they're so brainwashed that a lot of them can't see the nonsense and the corruption. So I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, I voted for Steve Garvey.
Hey, where did you vote at?
I just voted by mail.
Oh, did you? Oh no, I got my ballots. I want to vote in person.
No, you know what? I don't know if it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk and somebody else was making a good point. Like they say, Republicans like to vote in person because they want to see the ballot go in the box and know their votes counted.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody made a good point. They're like, if you do it that way, it was Dan Bongino. If you do it that way, they can dismiss your vote right then, right? They have hold of it, right? It's right there in the box. They could just throw it away.
Really?
When they open the box. Because they know you're coming in as a registered Republican. They go, oh, he's a registered Republican. He's probably going to vote for Trump. All right, we'll just throw this away. Or we'll just dismiss it. But if you vote by mail or you vote early, then there's websites for every county that say how many Republicans voted, how many Democrats, how many independents and others have voted, and how many are registered.
Yeah.
So if you have like a massive amount of Republicans voting in that county early, you can screenshot that and you have the number, at least the early votes, which are, going to be a good comparison for the overall vote. But so if you have a massive amount of Republicans voting over Democrats, then Trump should be winning. And then if they say, oh, no, Trump lost, you go, wait a minute. We got the early votes. They're right here. So everyone voting early is better. It's harder for them to cheat if you vote early than if you vote on the actual day.
Really?
And I thought that was
okay.
I thought that was a good point because I always thought the other one too, vote on the day.
So you recommend I do that then? Because we got our ballots. I was just going to save them because I've been hearing, just save your ballot because if you try to vote in person, they might say that you've already voted and therefore, all that crap. But I was like, man, well, I don't know. I just don't mind. I don't mind walking in there and voting. But if you're saying all that,
you're probably going to be fine either way. Because you're in California, so they figure we got this one. You're not in a battleground state, but if you're in a battleground state, voting early is probably the better way to go. And it's intuitive to vote on the day because you would think, oh, they don't have time to mess with the votes, but you're walking in and telling them, hey, I'm voting for Trump because I'm a registered Republican. They look on the voter roll, they mark you off, yep, registered Republican. He's going to vote for Trump. And so if you're in a battleground state and Democrat-held city, they're going to be like, yeah, let's delete that one.
Well, my girl just sent me a text a little while ago. Did you see what happened in Oregon?
What's that?
They Oregon and wait, let me see what it was. Two in Washington and Portland or something like that. They burned 2 ballot boxes. They set them on fire.
Oh, the Antifa.
I don't know.
Don't allow you to vote.
It just happened today.
Don't allow you to speak, right? They are the epitome of fascists. They are nothing different than the Nazi brown shirts. Yet they run around calling themselves anti-fascist while behaving 100% in a fascist manner. It's fucking everything they say on that side is exact opposite of what they are.
Yeah.
Like everything they say, we're anti-fascist while they behave 100% fascist. Trump's a threat to democracy while they're the threat to democracy. It's a trip. Like it's like, how stupid do people have to be? You can't see this. Like, you got people out in the streets saying they're anti-fascist, and if you go out there and you support something other than they support, not only will they shout you down, they'll beat you up. Right? They'll burn your ballot. Whatever. That is Nazi shit. Full on Nazi method. Yet they're like, we're anti-Nazi. No, you are Nazis. You're behaving exactly the same way, which walks like a duck, talks like a duck. You're a Nazi.
Well, it's a enigma wrapped inside of an enigma. What the hell did who said it? Henry Kissinger. Because they're paid, so you don't know how the hell they really operate. They're just, they're paid to do all this stuff. But here, let me play this video just because it's kind of breaking news. I guess it just happened today. Oh, I thought it was a report. I thought they were going to talk about it, but... Yeah, I wonder what the motivation of this is. I mean, because they're burning Democrat votes also, so I don't get why the hell...
But you know what? What city is it in?
This is
county?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
It's going to be in a city that has more Republicans than Democrats, I bet.
Wow, so I'm just wondering if this is going to start what they're going to start doing everywhere.
They're not burning them in Portland, I guarantee you that.
Yeah. I should have saved what the hell the Oh, maybe I could show you real quick. And there's something I want to read to you real quick. Some guy came up with a really good idea on how to deal with the media. Hold on, I'll get back to it real quick though. Let me just screen show this. Because I've been saying for a long time that if Trump gets in there, I think the number one thing he has to deal with is the media. The very first thing is just figure out something to hold them accountable for all the destruction, everything that they've done, man. Because everything that's happened all over the world has been because they've been able to convince people that aren't political, and therefore think it's giving them power. But some guy over here, David Sachs, came out with the really well. Let me just read it to you. Screw it. I'll get back to this Portland thing. This guy he wrote a post that says the major broadcast networks ABC, CBS, NBC operate on free licenses of public spectrum in exchange for requirements to serve the public interest. They no longer do, and this is an obsolete model anyway. The spectrum should be auctioned off, with the proceeds used to pay down the national debt. Of course, the networks can bid on the spectrum, and they will win if broadcast networks are still the most highly valued use. What's more likely to happen is that valuable spectrum will be reapportioned to the next generation of wireless applications, unleashing many more interesting options for consumers and businesses. The networks can continue to operate on cable like hundreds of other redundant channels. So I thought that was a good idea. That basically, however they get their free licenses, the spectrum should be auctioned off with this.
I think the way to deal with the media is like it's kind of going after the street dealer versus going after the kingpin, right? the media is doing what they're paid to do. Like, and if you're going to go after them for lying, they're allowed to lie, right? So I think Trump, if I become president, if I was Trump, I became president, I'm going to, set up the FBI, CIA, DOJ. I'm going to get the leadership out of there, put in leadership that's trustworthy, that's going to follow the law, and then tell them, investigate anybody who broke the law, right? And then they're going to be going after the business leaders, the oligarchy billionaires, the former head of the FBI, the former head of the DOJ, the former head of Homeland Security, the Attorney General. We go after them, as well as anybody who is pulling the strings illegally at the top. Mm-hmm. If you get them, that shuts the media down. They're not going to be doing this crap because there's no one pressuring them to do it anymore. And like I said, I don't think that the media on the news, the propaganda, I don't think that they even believe half the crap they're saying. I think they're just doing what they're paid to do, and it's very lucrative. And they know if we don't do it, we're going to get fired.
But they got to pay a consequence for that, even if they're plain ignorant, you know what I mean, and just saying, "Oh, it's just the job that we were told to do." They gotta pay for what they've done, man. They willingly knew what they were doing, you know what I mean? Like,
what have they done that's illegal?
Well, they just lied, you know. They lied about the Russia collusion. They lied about COVID. They lied about the January 6th. You know, they pushed all those narratives. All these narratives that they should have at least retracted and just or at least apologized for, or they've never retracted anything that they've said, none of it. So I think to me, I think that's how they should go about it. They should do some sort of commission or something like that. Looks into how many times they've lied, how many stories they've gotten wrong, how many times they've been deceptive, like really irresponsibly deceptive, and have never backtracked, not backtracked. Basically, admitted that they were wrong, apologized for anything, add them all up, and it should at least amount to some sort of something. Just get their license revoked until the management changes, or they've been talking about that Steve Munt Act that got ratified in 2012 under Obama, which means that I guess that up until then, it was illegal to use propaganda against the American public, and when they reformed that, it's still sort of in place, but they changed it. Now it's legal to use propaganda against the American public. So they got to reinstate stuff like that, and I think I brought up the fairness doctrine. Just different forms, different ways of just making them, be fair when in their reporting, stuff like that, something like that. But
and I get what you're saying, and I understand that this is very intuitive to think that way and makes sense. But if you follow it through on the big picture, really what we're saying here is that we're going to have the government decide what the news can say, right? And if you get a bad government in place after this, then they're going to be able to use that the same way they're doing it now and say, oh, all these alternative media and all this other Newsmax, they're lying to you.
Well, it's not necessarily, because what you're saying is I'm not saying to be to control what they say on specific issues. It's just how they report it, so it's not slanted. It has to be fair. That's what the fairness doctrine was, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much they applied it. If they were able to do what they did to Nixon in the 70s when it was still in place, you know what I mean? Like that back then, the news was completely slanted against them. So I don't know how fair they were being back then. But put something in place like that, where you could criticize a president, you could criticize anybody, but there has to be an equal opposing view. They have to provide an equally opposing view to that same topic. I'm assuming that's how the fairness doctrine worked. It was something like that, but I don't remember ever being applied that way. I don't know how. I know they used to have debate shows like in the 80s and stuff like that, but on local news and stuff like that, I don't know how much they applied it. But then the Steve Munt Act, whatever, I can't even pronounce Munt Act, yeah, if there was some sort of protection against being able to use propaganda against the American citizens, and then after 2012, now you see how hardcore they could go against Trump, and how fake we see it all is, how much everything's set up, how much collusion there is between the Democrats and the media, and like the wrap up smear. You've seen that video, right, with Nancy Pelosi, how she describes the wrap up smear. That all that stuff like that is only possible because now they're free to do stuff like that legally. There's no repercussions, because there used to be something in place that addressed it and made it illegal. They could get in trouble, but now that they know there's no law, to defend stuff like that, or protect from stuff like that, then it's just free reign. And I think that's what we're seeing against Trump. It's just ridiculous. You saw that headline that MSNBC had yesterday during the rally. They had a Trump holds rally 85 years after Nazi rally. Like, what the? How could they post? How are they allowed to post stuff like that? Like, and that's supposed to be like a non-biased news organization.
It's just freedom of speech. If you're dumb enough to believe it.
But it has to be fair.
So,
it can't.
So
there's one thing. There's something between freedom of speech and just complete propaganda against a political, against political opposition.
Who decides? All right, and who decides that?
Who decides it? Well, I mean, I guess the public will decide. What's what.
No. If it's a law, right? If we're going to put some laws or regulations in place, you have the government deciding that. That's a bad idea, because if the government's going to decide that. So look, there are laws in place that to deal with this stuff, right? They're just not being enforced. And I get what you're saying. You want to go after the media for their propaganda, and they're absolutely propagandizing. I'm not saying they're not. Of course I'm saying they are. That is a big problem. But how are they doing it, and who's allowing it, right? You have government entities, the FBI, CIA, DOJ, and senators and president. All these people are coercing these news stations to do this.
Oh, stuff. I see what you're saying.
Laws are in place against that already. So laws are in place against that already. They're violating federal law by doing that, right? Now, you have an attorney general and a DOJ who are in on it. So they won't do anything about the laws that are being broken. Now, you get Trump in office, you replace these people with legitimate law-abiding people who are heads of these agencies. Then they investigate the people who were doing that before, indict them, throw them in jail if they're convicted, which they should be. They probably will be, right? The message is sent, and the pressure on the news stations is no longer there, and it's no longer lucrative for them because the payments stop, and they know that.
I get what you're saying. So, I guess I'm describing it kind of from the bottom up, and you're describing it from the top down.
Right.
But it from the top down,
cut the head off.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. But from the top down, it could still go a little further down and hit the bottom that I'm talking about. But I think your approach is what they actually intend to do.
There probably are laws in place too. I don't know, but there probably are laws in place where you could have like the owner of CNN or whoever, that if they're colluding with the government this way, that might be illegal as well, to misinform the American public. But as far as like a newscaster or a propaganda caster lying intentionally, that's not illegal. They could do that. And I don't ever want the government to get involved in that. But the government should get involved in the people who are public servants who are getting involved in that to manipulate the American people. That is illegal. And so you hold them to account, and you clean it out that way. It's like arresting the mafia boss and not the street thug on something, which I would, AKA the newscaster, maybe, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal. They could just replace him, right? And the same problem exists. But if you give power to the government to decide what is propaganda, what is false news, what is misinformation. If you get a bad actor in the government, the stuff that's true now becomes propaganda, misinformation.
Well, then I guess
Right? They can
maybe
spin it however
not necessarily that the government comes after certain anchors and stuff like that, but maybe expose the collusion, expose it,
right.
and let the anchors be publicly shamed, and maybe just from there, just
Well,
they get fired, and just
well,
they got to deal with that,
the
But
director, if the director of the FBI and the DOJ are indicted for um, intimidating and bullying the news networks, are they indicted for colluding with the news network owners, right? And they're sent to prison. The message is sent. They're
yeah,
exposed, right? And so all the people who were on those news stations that were doing these lies, telling these lies, like Scarborough or whoever,
yeah,
right? The public's going to go, fuck you, dude. They're not going to watch them anymore. They shouldn't be watching them now. But once that happens, there's no debate that this is what's going on. And so that does expose them. You expose them by exposing the whole organization.
yeah.
And you have laws that can do that. I don't ever like the government to be involved in what people can say, even if it's lies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You're
I guess
allowed to do
I guess
that.
I don't
Even on
mean
the
like
news
that. I
channel,
don't
you're
mean like
allowed to do that.
specific topics and stuff like that. But I just mean, when it becomes political, to actually be openly just an arm of whatever political party, whether it be Republican or Democrat. I don't think
Right. So
they
you
should
go
be allowed
after
to
the
do stuff like
government
that.
officials of that party. Yeah, you go after the political officials of that party who are doing it, because they are breaking laws. And so you indict them. And once you indict them, these newscasters go, well, shit, it's over. And the American public goes, well, damn. So they were telling you what to say and you were saying it? I'm turning you off. Now, guess what? That network goes, well, we can't do this anymore, and you're out because you're a public pariah now. No one wants to watch our news if you're on it because you've been towing the line for the government for a paycheck the whole time. So you're now toxic, right?
Yeah.
It gets down to their level. When you cut the head off, the whole organization falls apart.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way to go about that.
Oh crap! I think hold on 1 second, Dan.
Did you see yesterday that at the Trump rally when he said that he was gonna no tax on overtime?
Oh really? I've heard that before.
Yeah, no tax on overtime. I was telling some of the guys at work, I'm like, man, that's like how much tax we pay a year? 10, 15,000? I don't know. A lot. That's extra 10, 15, 20 grand in your pocket for the average person a year, right away.
Well,
I mean,
well, he did.
I want to vote for less money in my paycheck and higher price store.
Yeah, no shit. Well, what about the no income tax? He wants to get rid of income tax.
Yeah,
Even Ron Paul reposted that. Reposted that and was like, "This would really make America great again." Ron Paul has kind of stayed quiet on Trump.
he said no income tax.
What's that? Hold on, you cut out right there.
Did he say he was going to cut income tax?
Somebody they reposted an article. Somebody wrote an article saying that Trump is looking into it. He's
Okay. I thought he was going there, and wow. I mean, now
oh, you haven't seen that one? Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Even Ron
no,
Paul
but
reposted.
everyone's got massive amounts of money that they didn't have before. And they can totally do that because if you listen to the rally yesterday, Elon Musk and the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald are going to be the team that works on government waste. And Cantor Fitzgerald CEO asked Musk, he goes, hey, how much money do you think we can cut out of this waste, in the first year? He's like, I think about $2 trillion. And he's like, yeah, sounds about right. $2 trillion. You can cut every income tax. You can cut everybody's overtime. You can not get tips, right? And they still have money left.
Yeah.
All you got to do is cut the gigantic government bureaucracy that's unnecessary, that is just in place to enslave you. right? It's a no-brainer to
Yeah.
anybody who to vote for here. Not only will it be a good economy like it was last time, now he's talking about giving you way more money
Yeah.
out of your own pay. You keep it, and the price of everything goes way down. All he's got to do is open up the Keystone Pipeline, cut the regulations on drilling for oil, and boom, the
Yeah.
price of everything drops. Gas and everything at the grocery store, because everything relies on energy, and
Yep.
it all gets cut.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people don't.
Just stupid. Like,
That simple concept is what a lot of people don't understand. About energy. I didn't understand it until I really thought about it like that.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just saying that simple concept of it, just lowering the cost of energy is, would reduce inflation. A lot of people don't get that concept.
Well, that and not printing money out for people who aren't citizens here, paying like ridiculous amounts of money to put citizens up in hotels in New York and shit like that. It's ridiculous, right? That all causes inflation. So basically, I'm not going to vote for Trump, even though I'm going to have thousands of dollars more a year in my pocket, and the price of everything's going to be way cheaper, which gives me way more buying power. Because you know what? He says some things I don't like. That's it. If someone walked up to you right today and you were like, I'm not voting for Trump because I don't like him, and they're like, well, here's 20 grand, bro. That's what you're going to get under Trump. We'll give it to you up front if you vote for him. Every one of them's going to vote for him. But that's what you're going to get, right? You're going to get that. Just vote for him, right? But they would do that, but they're so dumb.
Yeah. Hold on.
Because I'll tell you, I'll guarantee, mark my words, if Kamala Harris wins, which means the oligarchy billionaire world elites win, the price of gas, which is deflated right now in California, it's $4 to $4.50 a gallon. This is their hey, please vote for me, low price gas. This is the bottom for them.
Yeah.
They get elected, the price of gas will probably be $6-7 a gallon within a month or two.
Yeah.
Which means the price of everything in the grocery store goes up, the price of cars go up, the price of gas, your rent goes. Everything is going to go up when that happens. They're going to elevate the price of gas to fleece you more, to strip more of your money away. They're going to increase taxes. They're just going to take all your fucking money. So in other words, vote for Trump. And I'm just throwing a number out there based on no income tax, no overtime, lower prices. Here's 20 grand a year for you, if he's president. You vote for Harris, give us 20 grand.
Yeah.
Right? No one would do that. But it's super obvious that's exactly what's going to happen. 20 grand is just a figure I'm throwing out there, an estimation. But guarantee it's thousands of dollars in your pocket with Trump, thousands of dollars out of your pocket with Harris, for sure. And we already see that with the 4 years with her and the 4 years with him. The average family in America, it costs them at least $3,000 a year under Harris more than Trump. So even if it was $3 grand, that's, I think a low ball, especially in California. But here's $3 grand. If Trump's elected, you got three grand a year more. If she's elected, give me $3 grand. No one's giving you $3 grand and saying, I'm going to vote for this candidate. It means $3 grand. She's worth it. Why?
It's such a simpleton idea that she's just throwing out there that people aren't even thinking about, how it's going to work. Hold on. I found this article right here. So let me see if you could. Right there. Trump flirts with the ultimate tax cut. No income taxes at all.
Bro, that is gigantic.
Yeah. Yeah, so even Ron Paul reposted this. Huh?
If he did do that, realistically, I'm not going to say that he's elected and then you have no income tax. I think it would be a progression where he would cut it, lower the rate over time. And would he ever get to zero? I don't know. If I had to guess, probably not to zero, but maybe. But definitely lower than it is now. In other words, way more money for you.
Yeah.
No. He said Arnold Palmer has a big dick.
That's what they want to. Yeah, I know.
I had a couple of guys at work come up to me who hate Trump, and they're like, wow, you hear what Trump said about Arnold Palmer, and I hadn't
No,
heard it. They're like,
really? They
oh,
fell for that? Oh my
and
god.
they told me it, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, so hang on. Clinton had sex with a subordinate in the White House. Her job depended on that sex. Then he lied about it under oath. Biden takes showers with his daughter.
Yeah.
He's married to his former underage babysitter that he married, Jill Biden. He creeps on women all over the place. Clinton was accused of raping so many different women and sexually abusing so many different women.
Yeah.
And when these things happened, they ran for re-election, and you voted for them. So you can't tell me you're standing on moral ground about Trump making an off the cuff joke or statement about Arnold Palmer in the shower, right? That's peanuts compared to what these people are accused of and what they did. But yet you reelected them. You went and voted for it. So you don't have any ground to stand on here, right? And one of them's like, well, I hadn't heard this stuff. I go, really? That's a shock to me when you're watching propaganda that they didn't tell you these things. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't hear it because you don't want to know, right? But you want to stand there and go, well, Trump said women will let him grab him by the pussy, and that Arnold Palmer has a big dick. Well, these are comments that he's making. It's not things he didn't actually do anything. Biden's getting blowjobs from a subordinate in the Oval Office, and you reelected him. But now you want to say Trump's not presidential for saying these things when Clinton is abusing his authority with a subordinate. Like, what if she didn't do it?
Yeah.
Does she still work there? Right? And you're fine with that. Fine. It's okay. Not only is it okay, I'm going to approve it with my signature on a ballot. So you got nothing to say anymore. You approved the falling of morals of the president when you did that. You approved it. So you got no more ground to stand on. But this is what they come with, and you're like, why don't you just say,
That's crazy, bro.
why don't you just tell me the truth? You know?
Just tell them. I don't know, what the hell do you say to that? Just tell them not to. Just quit watching TV. Just stay out of politics.
Well,
Completely.
I've told these people, you're being propagandized, and they keep coming to me with stories that are propaganda, and I blow them up in a minute and prove it to them with absolute proof, and they're like, oh, huh. I mean, I would get tired of getting blasted like that. Like, man, you know what? I'm not going to put myself in that situation again. I'm going to check on it first. Nope. They said it on CNN, it must be true. And then you get blown out of the water. Then you go back to CNN to get some more. And then you come back with it again and get blown out of the water. And it's like, dude, do you enjoy this? Like, and then I tell them, I go, look, obviously they've been lying to you. Who else in your life, when they lie to you, are you okay with?
Yeah.
Right? You catch somebody, a friend, coworker, or your boss, your wife, husband, son, whatever, anybody that you're associated with, you have a relationship with, when you catch them flat out lying to you about something, do you go, you know what, it's okay? Or do you say, lying? Right. But you're fine with them lying on the news about the president who dictates what goes on in this country, how much money you have and don't. The moral ground you have, the moral ground you don't. They're dictating these very important things in your life, what you can say, what you can't. They're censoring, right? And you're like, I'm fine with being lied to. But don't you lie to me. Don't you lie to me, because I'm not cool with that. You're cool with being lied to. You are. You're fine with it.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm trying to... Yeah, go ahead.
I said, otherwise, if you're not fine with it, then you would criticize it, but they don't. And because the truth is, they know that they're being lied to. They're fine with being lied to for this because they really don't want Trump. And the reason they don't want it is, if I had to say, they think that he's racist and they're not white. I think that's the truth of their motivation. I can't say for sure. That's just my feel. And I can understand that because, the propaganda they've been hearing has been so strong. But I don't understand it anymore because it's been blown up. It's been exposed. You have over half of the Latinos in this country voting for Trump, more than 50%. You have Latino leaders saying it. You have black leaders saying it now, right? But you don't want to give up on it. No. And then they'll be like, well, the other thing is, the Democrats are for union. No, they're not. They're not. And matter of fact, 60% of our union voted for Trump. And like I was wearing a Trump T-shirt in there the other day, and somebody's like, "Oh wow, I can't believe you wear that in here." It's like, most of these people are going to vote for Kamala Harris. I go, "Why would they vote for Kamala Harris? We had a vote. 60% of people voted for Trump, so I would stand to reason that 60% of the people in here support it." You just don't need to wear it because you think I shouldn't be allowed any political expression.
Oh my God, it's dumb.
Yeah, and once again, that's a threat to democracy, and that is fascist. The very things you accuse Trump of being, you're doing right now.
Yeah,
you can wear a Harris T-shirt. I don't care. I don't support her. I'm not voting for her, but you have every right to do that. I would never tell you that. I would never criticize you and say you're not allowed to do that. I mean, I criticize the fact that you support her, but I would never criticize your right to do so. And I don't care. You can criticize supporting Trump, but don't tell me, hey, you probably shouldn't wear that. No, that's not American. That's not democracy. That's not a free republic.
Yeah. Well, let's see if this is true. Maybe so you got more ammunition against them. I don't know if it'll play the audio. I can't. I want to see if he said more about
All
it.
three are very good for this room. Which is the most?
You can hear that, right?
Do a poll, free poll.
Yeah.
I won't have to pay $700,000. Which do you like more? Ready? We'll go tips, overtime, Social Security. Which is the way? Which is the? Because you guys, I mean, you sort of have them in this state. You have them all. Tips is great, but overtime is great too. Ready? Vote for one. You can only. Let's assume you can only have one, which you can't. You're going to get all three. What do you like best? Free poll for Trump. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime?
What the? This guy's a game show host.
What is that? Okay. No tax on Social Security benefits for the
Wow, Security's huge.
Let's see if he says it.
Those are the three.
That's amazing. See, the seniors always win. They always win.
I guess there was no clip right there. The post says that he first.
But he's not saying it because that one I don't know that you can actually pull off because that's huge. So
Really?
he's not trying to lie to you. If he was lying, he would just said income tax too.
Oh, here's the Ron Paul post. Now this would really make America great again, and it's that article, I guess, from New York Times. So you're saying it's not possible to do it right away? It would have to be done slowly, even if he did attempt it.
I don't know, right? I know this. Income tax is a massive amount of funding for the government, so that's probably the biggest. So
Well, I think I read the way he would counter that is through tariffs. Tariffs would.
Well, tariffs, but mainly cutting the waste in spending. We're spending, like I said, Elon Musk and the Cantor Fitzgerald CEO said we can cut $2 trillion out of the budget in your first year. $2 trillion, he could probably cut all income tax.
Really?
I mean, I don't.
So then, so these things might be possible in combination with all their plans. With Elon Musk cutting, all that money out. Vivek Ramaswamy want to get rid of a lot of bureaucracy and all that stuff. All that stuff might make it possible.
It might be possible. The thing is, I don't know because I don't have as much information to the numbers as they do. But it might be possible. But I like that he's not coming out and saying, "Hey, yeah, we're going to do that," because I think he thinks the same thing I'm thinking. Is it might be possible, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So he's not going to commit to that and make that promise because I think he wants to, as president, keep his promises. So I like that he's not saying it. Now, I don't have a problem if he did say it, if he felt like he could do it. And it would be through cutting government spending, but it'd also be on tariffs, like he said at the rally. If you, this is another one, dude. If you buy a car, you can deduct off your taxes the interest.
Really? He said that?
Yeah, but it has to be made in America, right? So you put the tariff in place for car companies who left the United States and they want to ship them in here. And you put the tariffs in, which they go, well, you know what? It'd be cheaper just to come back and build them here. Okay, now they build them here. Now you create great union jobs for auto workers here, more of them. Now the people in America are buying the cars that are made here by union auto workers, and now you don't have to pay interest on it, dude. What the hell is anybody thinking voting for Harris? You know what Harris wants to do? We're going to have joy and an opportunity economy. What the fuck does that mean? Right? He's giving you actual specifics of what he's going to do, and all of it is like, hey, your life is going to be way better. She's like just talking nonsense.
That's why it doesn't make sense. How the hell it could be tied in any way, shape, or form? Her ideas are bad. Listening to her is bad. Nobody believes her. She seems fake. Nobody could defend the past 4 years. It just makes no sense unless it's just complete propaganda that we keep seeing with them being supposedly.
The only idea I've heard from her that's an actual idea is $25,000 homeowner assistance. So if you go to buy a house, you get $25,000 down payment, right? But that's a stupid ass idea, because now the price of the homes are all going to have to go up because the government gave money to people to buy the houses, and now that money needs to be recouped, which means your taxes go up, and they just take it right back from you over time, right? It's the only idea she has doesn't make any sense, and the rest of it is just, I'm going to create an opportunity environment. That means nothing.
And isn't the ironic, or I don't know what ironic was the word, but the funny thing about that is that I think the way she wants to pay for that is through capital gains and stuff like that.
Right.
But she's gonna give you a home, money for a home that you're gonna have to pay on the interest on the value that it increases. Like, so she's gonna get more money out of you than she's giving you. Probably.
She wants to tax unrealized capital gains. So that
unrealized capital gains. Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Right. So if you buy a house and the value goes up $100,000, but you didn't sell it, but you haven't gotten any of that money in your pocket, that year you got to pay tax on that $100,000 that the house went up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On money you never even had.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Yay! She's for the working class." No, it's everything she says either makes no sense or is stupid. Everything he's saying makes perfect sense and is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you want more money or less, because that's what you're voting for. And more war, because that's what you're voting for. You want unity or division, because that's what you're voting for. They are all about division.
I don't know what this clip is about, but I think I downloaded a bunch of clips. Some of these they're just common sense clips. I think this guy just tears a new one. I put Kamala Chance's reality check. Let me see. Oh crap! You can't hear it.
No volume.
Why isn't that playing? Yeah, you don't hear that at all, huh? Oh wait, I think I'm away. Here it is.
among black Muslims. She is not doing well. She is the worst polling Democrat against Donald Trump in history on national polls. No one is performing worse than her. No one's performing worse than her among blacks, among Hispanics, the worst performing Democrat in modern history among those demographics, worst performing polling-wise among Jews. She is losing key factions of the Democratic base. Muslim voters, she's at under 50%, she's at 52% in the latest CARE poll among black Muslims. She is not doing well. She is the worst polling Democrat against Donald Trump.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago, but those guys had nothing to say. I forgot what both of those names were, but yeah. So basically, I guess once in a while it's registering. You'll see people like him, that they know the truth and they'll get it out there, but then you see the polls and it just makes no sense. Like, how the hell can it be neck and neck? But
right.
But then again, well, hold on. Let me play this clip. I wanted to show you. This is kind of funny. There's no way that this is any sort of Trump supporters, but check this out. People are crazy. Some sort of some sort of like joy community or something like that, but
they don't even sound genuine. They all look like they're just faking it.
Well, whatever. They're still going along with it. But
I mean, I'm gonna pretend to be insane.
Yeah.
It looked like it looks like someone opened up the loony bin doors and let them all out.
Something weird about conservatives.
There is a
I showed you this one. I sent you this one, right?
The way they
yeah.
operate within themselves, they refuse to listen to outside people. They're refusing to learn, essentially.
Hold on, let's hear this
something
question.
Weird about conservatives.
There is almost a cultish vibe, I feel. The way they operate within themselves, they refuse to listen to outside people. They're refusing to learn, essentially. I think that is a large part of it.
Oh, one more real quick. I had two of them.
You're the president of College Democrats.
Yep.
How you feeling about the enthusiasm? Your name and how you feeling?
My name is Rose, and I'm feeling great. This is going to be a great debate. Oh, sorry, I touched you there. I'm so enthusiastic. Walls is going to do so well.
All right, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. I really appreciate talking to you guys, Rachel.
I was just playing those clips because it kind of explains how the hell people could be believing Kamala. These people are just nuts. They're just.
And this is like I said, we work for the Teamsters, and we got a bunch of teams supporting that. Really defend that?
I think it's just the ignorance, man. Like, for sure, it's just old school people. I mean, I don't know who's coming up to you, man. I don't know if they're older or younger, but it's just
they're older.
Yeah, if they're older, yeah, they're just ignorant people that they just like busting balls. Probably, they for sure aren't political. You already know, man. Most people don't pay attention. To really understand. Yeah, because all the Trump supporters that go to the rallies and stuff like that, I gotta assume that most of them know as much information as me and you. But we know, huh?
Yeah, they're informed.
Yeah, they have to be really informed. But then people like that work with us, they're just normal people, but they're not as informed, so they're just stuck at a certain level of education on on facts. So right. and they're just old school, maybe that just ball busters that'll just stick with the level of knowledge that they know and just approach you and just argue with you on stuff that you've already know has been debunked probably 2 years ago, stuff like that. So it's just a closed off mentality, I guess you could say.
When they come up to me and they take a shot and it doesn't land, I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm thinking, you might want to put a helmet on for this. I'm about to hit back.
No, but see, that's the thing. You could actually drop a bunch of truth bombs on them, and it'll go over their head. They won't even understand. Like, it's just way over their mental capacity. You know what I mean? Like, they're just, what the hell are you talking about? They won't even comprehend like what it takes to.
I don't even try to engage with them anymore because it's like it's stupid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no point. Yeah, because they won't even understand what you're saying.
As an example of how nonsensical some people are, and You know, I'm kind of over it.
But then again,
I look at it as like, I already, I'm good.
if you see, people that are somewhat informed, Democrats that are going for Kamala, like on the streets and stuff like that, whenever like an influencer, like a Trump supporting influencer approaches them, with the microphones, like, what is your best, your Kamala's policy that's your favorite? They won't even engage. They can't even respond because they know they have nothing.
I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about
exactly
any reasons that I'm voting for her. I'm just voting for her.
Yeah, they'll get angry and violent, and they just walk away. Yeah, they just get aggressive because they know they have nothing. So, it's what it is inside of them. It's just dark hearts. You know what I mean? It's just people with just bad vibes inside of them, man. So,
well, it all comes back to what I said is like, if you want to get to the core of it, it is spiritual. There's spiritual forces all around us all the time, and good and bad. And you're going to be influenced one way or the other based on, the type of person you are and whether you believe in God or not. If you don't, then you're open to that bad influence. And so I think that's really, you're right. It is dark forces inside them, and we know what they are. And, I get it. Satan has a lot of power, nowhere near God's, but he does have a lot of power here on earth. And you can see it in those videos, like the guy's painted up like Ronald McDonald trying to let us, like, bro, did you look in the mirror?
That we're a cult. Yeah.
Did you look in the mirror? Like,
So damn, we got 8 days, bro. It's next Tuesday. It's the day of decision, man.
And be prepared for these battleground states and Democrat-held cities.
Well,
stop the count.
Did you hear? What the hell's this guy's name? Here, let me play this clip real quick. Damn, I always forget these guys' names.
So, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all. So, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need...
So I think he's talking about something specific to one of the Supreme Court decisions that are up for, I think, when during the lawfare that's going on against them. But I think that that might be one of the tactics that the people are saying, that they're not going to certify him, basically. Just the way he wanted Mike Pence not to certify it, that they're going to try to pull that on him, even if he wins. So I mean, but I don't know. Do you think they have the balls, man, to really just put it all on the line? Like, because they have 2 options. They could either completely destroy the whole credibility and really prove the democratic system of the United States for their own interests, or they could literally just flee the country, because that's what they keep bringing up, that they think Trump is going to go after his political rivals.
Trump's going to appoint people into the federal law enforcement agencies at the top, get rid of the ones that are corrupt and put ones that aren't corrupt, and let them do their job. Which does mean they're going to find a lot of felonies, and there's going to be a lot of indictments because these people have been breaking the law for a very long time. So it's not Trump is like, I'm going to go after my political
enemies. No, he's not saying it, but yeah, the people, like some of his loyal people, most loyal follower, people are Kash Patel, Steve Bannon. You know what I mean? They keep they're I think I've said it on the show, man. I think they're making a mistake by bragging about it, that they're going to do that they want to go after these people that, and it's fair, I guess. They're saying, these people that broke the law, but, on the surface, it just all sounds like, you're going to go prosecute your political rivals. You're going to seek retribution for injustices and stuff like that. But,
that is what they're saying is, I'm going to prosecute people who broke the law, and people who broke the law, a lot of them are political rivals, but them being political rival isn't the reason that we're going after them. We're going after them because they broke the law.
Yeah, but that's the dilemma that they have. knowing that, do they really allow him to take power to let that? They're basically shooting themselves in their in their feet. You know what I mean? They're letting themselves be hung. So either they allow him to do that, stay in the country, and pretend, oh, he's just it's just all rhetoric, or they really just free the country because they really are going to do that. So I think that's just their choice. Like they're going to have to either, pull the trigger on denying him the election, because for sure he's going to win, or we're going to see some crazy revolution, man. Something's really bad's going to happen.
Well, it is like I said on a previous podcast, like the Mayorkas, Homeland Security Director.
Yeah, I got number one. Yeah, for sure. Him.
He's going to have a list of felonies that probably doesn't end, right?
Yeah.
And he's not that young, so it's basically life and death for him, or flee. And even if he flees, they'll probably go get him. The director of the CIA, Ray, the director of the FBI, same stuff. Yeah. The Attorney General, Garland.
Adam Schiff. They keep talking about Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney for the J6 committee.
Yeah. Are all looking at felonies that would basically keep them in prison for the rest of their lives because they're not young. And so for them, it's an all or nothing proposition. So yeah, they're going to do whatever they can to prevent this from happening. And believe me, there's plans in place. Maybe the election rigging, and maybe trying to disqualify Trump from whatever they accused him of with the Supreme Court. Maybe a lot of different things. Don't know exactly what their game plan is, but they have one. And so, because like I said, this is like, if they lose and you have actual law-abiding director of the FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, and Attorney General, they're going to investigate these things.
Yeah.
And the crimes are right there to be seen. So they're going to be indicted. They're going to be convicted and go to prison. And their whole super lifestyle goes away. And so for them, it's essentially life and death. That's basically, for them, they would probably see it as a death sentence. So
but honestly, you think Dick Cheney's going to allow Liz Cheney to go to jail? You don't think Dick Cheney has just monsters working that he could just turn to do something? I can't picture Dick Cheney allowing that to happen, man. So either they leave her alone, but that means they got to leave everybody alone. He'll
do everything in power, but will he be successful? I don't know. And I don't know that they're going to actually indict everybody, because if they indicted everybody in our government that broke the law, and for political reasons, really, to try to keep the American people from being able to elect their own president, if they did that, it would be an endless line of people. So I think if I was to guess, the way it would play out is they would go after the bigger ones, and go after, like,
Mayorkas for sure, yeah. Because that's not even that's not even including what we know. They're going to look into what the hell happened in Butler. So unless they've already deleted all kinds of stuff, they're going to find out that there's for sure collusion with what happened when the first assassination attempt, and Mayorkas is in charge of the Secret Service. So
I think that they'll go after a few big fish like that, and they'll make their point, and the other people, they might not go after them, or they might go after them not as hard. But I don't think they're going to go after every single person. I think they're going to go after the ones that are the major players and make the point.
No.
And the other ones will be removed from office. Probably that's what they'll do, and maybe fined, probation, maybe a little jail time. But they won't go after them nearly as hard. But they want to make the point on the big fish that this corruption at the top level of government to subvert American elections is going to be punished. And they make that point that anybody else who tries it knows. You can get away with it for a while, but it ends up badly. So I think that's how it will play out. So, and it's completely legitimate. If they're not guilty of anything, then they don't have anything to worry about, but they know that they are. And so, for them, it's all or nothing. Right. So they're going to go. I mean, like I said, they'll probably start a fucking war before they let him in the office. So I don't know. We got a week to go before, very well possibly, all hell breaks loose.
So that's what's crazy, man. I think we're 8 days away from knowing. Yeah, I guess that's the third option. Yeah, you're right. Either they just give them power and let themselves be jailed if that's what ends up happening, or they deny them and they allow some sort of civil war to occur here in the United States, where there's gonna be for sure riots if they don't certify them, huh?
They're not gonna allow it. They're gonna cause it.
Well, cause it, yeah, for sure. I mean, the third option is, yeah, like you said, they're gonna start a war and then just halt the election or some shit in the next 8 days, man. Like,
right. And, so I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know that for them, they're scared shitless right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have a lot of power and money.
Yeah.
So people who have a lot of power and money and are scared for their lives, that's about as dangerous as it could possibly be.
Yep.
So I don't know what they're going to do, but I bet they have a variety of plans that happens. This is what we're going to do. Self-preservation. They're going to try to survive or take everyone with them. But maybe that doesn't happen. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I mean, it's been a weird thing. I thought that there would be riots in the streets coming up to this election because there were the last 2 cycles, but they went away from that game plan. I think it's pretty much well exposed that they're coordinating riots in the streets, so they changed it up this time. And so now they have a different plan. And last time, they rigged the election in battleground states and Democrat-held cities where they stopped the voting, kicked everybody out, and then started voting, which is illegal. Maybe they're going to get away from that too, because that was pretty well exposed. So, yeah, I'm not sure what their plans are, but I would say it's a 99.9% chance that they have something in store. Yeah. Very unlikely they're going to sit by and let it happen.
Somebody posted a good post here. Let me kind of. I'll read the whole damn thing. They put all the celebrities: Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Lizzo, Usher, Kelly Rowland, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kerry Washington, George Clooney, Oprah, Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep, J-Lo, the military-industrial complex, the Cheneys, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, the media, academia, plus $1 billion campaign and 93% positive press coverage for Kamala. And Trump is still ahead in the polls, even after 2 impeachments, 94 indictments, 2 assassination attempts, and multiple fake allegations of sexual misconduct. He says that is the power of the American. That is the power of the American people. So yeah,
that's how much this has been exposed.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a great illustration of how much this is in the light now.
Who said it the other day? Somebody said it. This is gonna just go down as the biggest political comeback in world history. Like,
we are living in historic times. This right now, we're so close to it because we're in it that it's hard to see just how big it is. It's gigantic.
Yeah. And it sucks that a lot of people that we know that we work with and that we know don't realize it. A lot of my family don't know.
60% of them got 1.3 million votes, 60% for Trump.
Yeah.
And so the Teamsters Union, the majority of Teamsters get it. And that's a labor union, which should be 75% for the Democrat. It's 60% for the Republican. And he's not really a Republican, he's American, but they see it. And everything you just illustrated illustrates that even more. So, Trump's winning this election. There's no doubt about that. But will it be rigged? Will it be subverted? Will there be a civil war? Will they start a regional war? Will they start a world war? Will they collapse the economy? I mean, they could do a lot of things to just cause chaos and be so busy dealing with that we won't be able to go after them.
Well, here we are, Dan. A few months ago, man, I tried to count down like how many days to the election. I don't know what number it was. It was like over the hundreds, I think. So that's how far we're back. We started this show. But now we're at 8 days, man. So within 8 days, we're going to find out what direction, man. And just the contrast of possibilities is It's almost surreal, bro. Seriously.
It's hard to say, man. This is uncharted fucking territory.
Yeah, really.
No, it really is. We don't know. I mean, I know Trump's going to get the vote, but what else is going to happen? I'm just not sure. Because, like I said, they're smart people, and they did things that we knew they did before to subvert the American public's vote, but they've went away from those things, or some of them. So that means they have different things that they're coming up with, and we can speculate, but I'm just not sure.
Well, you got to think that they must have came up with all the, they had to have had for sure think tanks that created all this this whole thing since Trump ran, and all their models failed. Everything. I mean, the number one, their last resort was for sure killing Trump, which failed. And probably everything they knew would happen if he just continued is happening. So, but the lawfare didn't work. Just like that post said, like everything, none of it worked. So all their models didn't work. And so now what do they got left? Yeah, who the hell knows? What's their last trick up their sleeve?
You know what? It just dawned on me. So I think this is a good way to look at why we're in the situation we're in right now, why this is happening, why this isn't working for them. Mm-hmm. And it's because of Trump winning the first time. They didn't take him seriously, and so they didn't really do anything to try to stop him because they thought he had zero chance. It was a joke. Yeah. He wins, right? But during that time and prior to that time, they were already doing this woke policies and this one world government. They were already in process. This process had begun long before that. And so it was moving in the steps they wanted it to move. And after that election, they figured it wouldn't be Trump, it'd be one of their people. And so they would still be able to move this along, right? Yeah. But Trump got in there, and that really messed up their plans. Mm-hmm. But they were so already outrageous with their woke stuff that people were like, what the fuck is this, right? Yeah. So if Trump didn't win like they thought he wouldn't, then they would have been able to carry on with this. But because this woke stuff was so already overblown, they thought it didn't matter that it was overblown, and they pushed it so hard before Trump was president that they thought it didn't matter if the American people got onto it and started disagreeing with it, which they already were. But even if we push it more, it won't matter because we have full control. But they lost control for 4 years, and now they're trying to regain the control. But this stuff is so overblown that people are going, wait, why would we vote for more of this? Yeah. Right? And they thought people would never have a chance to actually elect a president again. But Trump got in there and messed it all up. They're pissed. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So they were really getting control on the world, and it was getting pretty obvious. And they thought, it doesn't matter that it's getting pretty obvious. We have everything locked down already. But then Trump got in, and that blew it up. They're like, oh shit. Yeah. Now we have to convince people that all this stuff is legit that we're doing, and that Trump's the bad guy, and the people are going, bullshit, right? Yeah, so now a really bad situation. They've been breaking laws, they've been pushing insanity, all for their own wealth and power and control of the world. And they thought it didn't matter because we would never have control again, the people. But the people took control because they screwed up, and now they're trying to regain it, but they're trying to regain it when they've gone too far. Yeah. For the people to accept it anymore. So now they're like, fuck. So yeah, I think that's why we're in the situation we are, is they thought that they would never have lost control before Trump. They didn't think that anybody would ever be president that they didn't have control of, because they had it all locked down. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. It was screw up. It's not rigging that election. Well, then what happened was meant to be, for sure. I think there's a lot more good people than there is bad people. So I think God for sure is looking out for us. And he, like they say, he works in mysterious ways, and he brought about a situation that we're witnessing now that's incredible. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So
I think we could end on that note, Dan. But I think if you're down, man, let's do one more show before. I mean, the election's next. You know, we're gonna find out next Tuesday.
We could do one on Thursday.
You want to do one on this coming Thursday?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we got some good stuff today, man. I think we caught up on a lot of things.
Yeah, it was a good show.
So then, so yeah, we could just end it on that note, my brother.
All right, man.
Cool.
Well, take care.
All right, bro. I'll hit you up after, bro. Okay.
All right.
All right. Have a good day. Later.